What peptides give you energy? Now let's define energy. I love Einstein's E equals mc squared because first of all, it's powerful to think about the energy just in the universe alone. And if you say, well, what if you harness all that energy in your body? Because in the Eastern saying, we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. And so we're just this little universe that's circulating in a bigger universe. And so energy becomes the most important feature in health. I look at health as the direct expression of energy. And so the peptides are going to be phenomenal that we'll cover in this video, because what you're going to learn is what peptides are going to optimize your energy in the fastest and safest way possible. You'll also learn which peptides may not be beneficial if you've got certain medical conditions that have not been addressed. I'm Regan Archibald. I'm the author of the Peptide Blueprint. It's a book that gives you a comprehensive guide on what peptides to take when throughout the course of your healthcare journey. I created a program that has helped thousands of people called Accelerate Wellness. Now, this program is broken up into 3 phases: the reset, the recharge, and the restore. So the recharge is what we're going to be talking about right now when it comes to peptides that generate energy. If you have not done a reset, you want to go and watch other videos on peptides in that reset phase so that your body's ready to now generate the energy that you love. So let's jump in. So first of all, if you look at what peptides are, they're just little protein structures. And these short chains of amino acids are stacked in a very sequential way, and they're folded in a way that they can bind just like a key that goes into a lock and unlocks health. And peptides, especially when it comes to energy, I remember I was so fatigued when I was in my undergraduate work. I remember I'd fall asleep in class and I would be like, this is not good. And I went to different doctors up at the University of Utah and ran my labs, and they said the same basic thing. They said, well, it looks like you're too stressed. We don't see anything wrong in your labs, but the reason why you're tired all the time and your skin's flared up — I had eczema, psoriasis, I was gaining weight, I was achy, I couldn't sleep — they said, you just need to take fewer classes. And I was like, I grew up on a cattle ranch. Like, this is not stressful. Actually, I really enjoyed school. And it wasn't until I got the right labs ran that I realized why I was in such an energy crisis. So I'm going to give you just a really quick test to see where your energy levels are right now. And then you'll be able to determine what peptides are going to help you get to where you want to go. So number 1, do you have a hard time sleeping? Hard time falling asleep? And do you wake up early in the morning or before you want to wake up? And then when you do get out of bed, do you have brain fog? Do you just feel really achy and tired? And if that's a yes, you can put this in the comments below. Number 2, do you notice that your mental and your endurance for cognition is limited to the morning hours only or the evening hours only? Do you notice that you can think clearly only a few hours out of the day? And that's brain fog. Number 3, do you have a sluggish digestive system? Do you notice that, like your bowel movements, you just don't fully evacuate? You just feel like you're a little bit backed up, but then you also have episodes where you have these very loose stools, where your digestive system is very finicky, but you can't quite put your finger on what's wrong. And then the 4th one is, have you noticed that your physical activities are not as enjoyable as they once were? Maybe you love skiing, and you notice this winter that you're only able to ski maybe 15,000 feet of vertical, and then you had to just call it a day. Whereas in the past, you could ski 30,000 feet and just be fine. So, if you've had any decline in those areas, there's a really good chance that there could be something interfering in your energy production. And this is the most important thing, because when you're choosing peptides for energy, the number 1 thing you want to do is ask the question, well, why is my body not generating energy itself? Because peptides are naturally made in your body. And as long as you've got the right environment, you'll be shocked at how much energy you can generate no matter what age you're at. So there's what we call the 4 epic triggers. And these epic triggers are what blocks your energy production. Number 1 is emotional trauma or emotional triggers. Is there somebody or something in your life that's draining your emotional energy? Is there trauma that's unresolved? that is an energy blocker. The second one is, do you have pain? And I don't know if you've ever had pain, but pain can be one of the most distractive things in our life because it pulls you away from what you want to focus on, and it forces us to focus on the pain itself. So getting rid of pain and physical trauma can help release enormous amounts of energy. The third thing that you want to focus on is, do you have any kind of infections? You've probably been sick if you're human. If you have never been sick, then it's amazing. But we've all had those days where it's like, man, my energy's just run down. I don't know what's going on. But it's not just these massive infections that you want to worry about where you're feverish. It's actually the things that are probably more dangerous to your health span and your lifespan are these small infections like Epstein-Barr. You can get these little misfolded proteins in your brain. These little prions can cause massive amounts of damage, and they're very hard to diagnose. You can also have infections like Lyme disease. And then probably the biggest infection that we see time in and time out, 90% of people that we test, they have mycotoxin exposure. And these biotoxins are very dangerous because they're in your house. It's the very environment that you live in, that you work in, where you could be absorbing a lot of toxins that's interfering with your energy. And then the fourth energy trigger and block is what we call the chemicals. And so if you think of the food you're eating, just like I was exposed to a lot of chemicals growing up on a farm, I had a lot of glyphosate exposure with Roundup. That caused my immune system to break down, and that's why I was so tired when I was studying. Once I learned that I had to get rid of the glyphosate, and I went to work at removing that and detoxing my liver, my gut, my skin, I all of a sudden started feeling great. And now as I'm in my late 40s, I have better energy than I've had even in my 30s and especially in my 20s. But I had to remove those triggers. So if you tested, if you say, hey, I've got these triggers, I want to get tested for those, the first place we'll start is we're going to do a blood test. And in that blood test, we'll test all your hormones. We'll look at your digestive system, all the detoxification pathways. And then we'll also look at mycotoxins. And then we'll do a stool test. And in the stool analysis, we'll be able to see what microbes may be interfering, what chemicals might be there. And once those things are removed, that's when we'll start bringing in these phenomenal peptides. So what are the best peptides for energy? Well, there's a peptide that I love. It's called 5-amino-1-MQ. And it's technically a small molecule. And it was discovered out of San Antonio, University of San Antonio, Texas. This was about 2015, 2016. And what they were looking at is this pathway in the body called the NNMT pathway. And when that pathway, if you can inhibit it, your body will start using fat as an energy source. But what happens as we put on more fat, our body's energy systems start to get sluggish. And then that fat starts collecting more inflammatory proteins, and our body accumulates more and more fat. We crave things that aren't good for us. We become more sedentary. And so with 5-amino-1-MQ, what the researchers were able to notice is that it turned on AMPK. So people started burning fat more efficiently. They also found that it increased the contractility of the muscles. So people are able to jump higher, run faster. They felt more athletic. And then the final thing that they discovered is the 5-amino-1-MQ was able to remove a lot of the fat accumulation so that the detoxification was more optimal. So 5-amino-1-MQ, phenomenal for energy. If you're looking for energy from workout recovery, a great peptide is BPC-157. Many of you have heard of this peptide. It was discovered out of a university in Croatia back in the 90s. And they found that BPC-157, every cell in your body is dependent on this beautiful peptide. And if you've got BPC-157, you're going to recover faster. But the best thing that it does is it activates nitric oxide. So I like to do beet juice. I'll do beet juice in the morning, a little beet juice in the evening, and that stimulates nitric oxide. I also use a peptide called sarcotropin. And sarcotropin with BPC is phenomenal because sarcotropin has 2 growth hormone releasing peptides in it. And that's going to activate energy, but it also has L-citrulline and L-arginine. It's got DMAO, which is really good for your brain, and then it's got the K2 and D3 vitamins so that you're going to get this nice movement of blood and you'll have a decrease of any plaque accumulations in the arteries. And it's got a little bit of prune juice for the ghrelin, so you're not hungry on the growth hormone. But when you stack BPC with sarcotropin, you'll notice that your energy levels are nice and improved. I'll do it in a fasted state first thing in the morning before a workout. I feel all tingly and I just jump in there and go to town. So BPC for energy is phenomenal. It's good for recovery, it's good for your gut. And then the final peptide that you want to consider when you're optimizing these pathways is what's called MOD-SC. Now, MOD-SC is more phenotypically expressed in like some of the Japanese populations where they tend to live longer, but it's activated when you have heat shock proteins. So where do you get heat shock proteins? Well, you get in a sauna, when you're sweating, when you exercise, you're going to have about a 500% greater release of MOD-SC. And in fact, in one of the studies, they found that just by injecting MOD-SC in these elderly mice, they could run now as far as the young mice on the treadmill. That'd be kind of a funny test to see the mice kind of trotting along. But MOD-SC, it's a phenomenal peptide. So think 5-amino-1-MQ, think MOD-SC, think sarcotropin, which works on the growth hormone pathway. It's also nitric oxide production. And then the BPC 157, you can't go wrong. It's like the Swiss Army knife of peptides. And if you love learning about peptides and you want to go deeper and learn about the best peptides for weight loss, I've provided a link in the show notes below. Click on that link and we'll take you to the next video. I'll see you there.